Because we live in a time now, unfortunately, where the haram has become something quite normal. So you watch movies, you watch television programs, you listen to songs. They are actually praising and promoting these kind of acts. Is that right? So in the song, he's talking about things that he's done, which are haram things. Not with his wife, but with his girlfriend or whatever it is. And the movie is promoting those kind of things. Even things like homosexuality or whatever it is, you find these kind of things are brought in a way, brought in these kind of sitcoms, situation comedies. So you are watching the show and you are laughing. You are laughing about what? You are laughing about something that is haram. You are laughing about something not only that is haram, that is very evil and despicable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed someone's life to be taken for that. And the life is something very precious. The Prophet ﷺ said that it's easier in the eyes of Allah that the entire Kaaba will be destroyed than the blood of a believer will be shed. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here then is allowing the life to be taken in certain situations where that will bring benefit and that will prevent harm. So we have to understand that and keep that in context, because we live in a time now where we are bombarded all the time. Our senses are bombarded. Everywhere we look, we see this kind of billboard and advertisement and magazine and this and that. And a lot of it is promoting actually something haram. You have to look sexy, you have to look like this, you have to be like this and that and that. All of these kind of things are only things that usually are leading and promoting what? Zina. Zina. So we have to be aware and alert, and we have to monitor our own attitudes actually, because we will become desensitized over time. So I remember, for example, living in the United States, I mean, things are quite open. And it's normal, you have male and female classmates together, your teacher is a female, and people are not, there's no such thing as hijab. And I was going to a high school, there were maybe like 3,000, close to 3,000 students in my high school. I mean, maybe it's like the colleges in Malaysia. This was the high school. And there were maybe only 4 or 5 Muslims. And those Muslims, most of them were hiding their Islam actually. So their name is Ahmed, they go by Alan, and their name is Muhammad, they go by Mo, and things like that. And when it comes time for Salah, no way that they want to, pray or be seen praying. So barely we will be able to gather together for Friday prayer and hide in one corner to do the Friday prayer, and they don't want anyone to see, and so on. So this is the kind of environment. So for me, there were certain elements of this Islamic etiquette and Islamic attitudes that we should have that were wiped away because you become desensitized. So I remember, for example, for me, the first time I went for Umrah, it was in '96. I was maybe 15 or 16 years old. So I, in high school, and this is the time where the person is very aware of the opposite gender. So when I went for Umrah, it was in Ramadan, so I stayed for 1 month in Mecca and Medina. So the environment is very Islamic. People are dressed very appropriately, people are interacting with each other very Islamically, and so on. You're in this kind of Iman environment. So then I remembered going back, we stopped, stopover, because the United States is quite far, we stopped in Frankfurt, Germany. So I remember being in the airport, and it was the first time that as I looked around, I felt something's wrong. So I started looking down. I said, I don't know what's going on. There's too much nakedness, too much like the way the ladies are dressed, and this kind of billboards and posters and magazines everywhere. And even in Germany, they're quite open. They put the kind of filthy pornography things just there in the convenience store, open for everyone to see. Even the children can see it, and so on. So this was the first time that I felt like there's something wrong. I should not be seeing this kind of thing. So I realized that because I had been exposed to it all my life, I didn't even feel like there's something wrong actually. Only when I was isolated for this 1 month, then all of a sudden my sensitivity started to come back, and I realized, oh, this is haram actually, I shouldn't look. I shouldn't look at the opposite sex like that. And, I should have respect and so on. Of course, they should also cover and act in a modest way, but still, this is something sometimes, depending on the country or society we live in, we don't realize that there's something wrong. So now we live in a global society, of course, where many of us are watching the same movies all around the world. Everyone is watching the same television programs, same movies, reading the same magazines and so on. So a lot of those are sending the wrong message. So we will start to not even feel like zina is a big deal. We may live in a time where it will be hard to find people that haven't committed zina and so on. I mean, at least in the United States and these kind of countries, this was the case growing up. When people will ask you, have you ever done it? You will say no, they will be shocked. What do you mean? How come? Why not? How could this be? And so on. So it's a problem also when then Muslims will begin to talk or think like that. So we've heard about this kind of thing in some Muslim societies. We have to be very cautious about that.